Hey everybody, good Inerchi to you guys. So yesterday was intense for me, um, and I tried very hard to get fucked up. I exercised, all of my availabilities, short of breaking the law, which did cross my mind. I'm not gonna lie, it did cross my mind yesterday. But I want to say thank you because I didn't receive any PayPal funds, and like I said, well, I mean, you guys don't know, but I didn't end up getting fucked up. It did not happen. I walked to a pawn store. I had stuff to pawn. I thought it said it was going to be open. I walked there. The pawn shop's closed. Even finding it was an issue. And on my way walking there while I was limping, just a very desperate act. My mom sending me texts saying, "You come home with Kava, you're gonna be on the streets. Like, we're kicking you out. You know more of this shit." Like, a lot of signs were telling me to stop trying to seek this fucking self-destructive way of living. There was a lot telling me that, no, man, you've had your share of fucking getting fucked up. Like, it's time to fucking. It was God pushing back on me. So initially, my anger and all that, I was gonna just suck it up and be like, ah, well, fuck it, I'll just sleep outside in the morning, I'll go and get my stuff, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and but another thing happened yesterday too is I found that Joy is still making videos. She made another channel, and I tuned in yesterday evening, and like what she said again, the part of it that I caught was about 45 minutes. She's right. I don't know if she was talking to me, but in general, I feel I need to humble myself, and I have been an asshole and narcissistic and arrogant as fuck about things. And I've been rude, and I have some apologies to make, and I'm gonna make those apologies, and I'm not gonna rush them, and but I definitely had a little bit of a kind of like, damn, Brian, you need to get your shit together. Like, you're about to be on the streets in the middle of fucking winter in Portland, and life really isn't that bad here, and just even if it being the way it is, you getting fucked up is not going to help anything. It's just going to make it harder and worse, and trying to escape from your problems in your reality does not help solve the problems in your reality. And the same thing goes with how much music I've been listening to, all this Netflix. I haven't even really been interested in it. I mean, I start a show and I stop it, and then they just remade this, they didn't remake, but they made a show based on a series of books that I really enjoyed, and they completely fucking changed things around. Like, it's really disturbing, and it's kind of just got me like I'm just gonna give watching shows and shit like that, I think, a pretty good break. So I've gone back to, I put on a VHS and I kind of just watch them. It kind of takes me back in time, actually. It's interesting, like, especially those VHS tapes. Like, when I watch them, I can kind of go back to like the state I was in as a child watching them, and then just the whole VHS, the machine itself, is a lot different than these smart devices, so they really give off a different type of electromagnetic field, which I find to be a lot healthier, or just grittier, realer. It doesn't feel as tainted. So that's good. I'm not gonna. And my dad took his iPad, so I don't have the iPad access anymore, and so I don't watch Netflix on my phone, so I really don't have that type of availability for Netflix and things, which is good, I think. Excuse me. But anyways, I want to make sure this video doesn't get too long, because I've tried making this twice already. Both times it's too long for YouTube, so I got to remake it. But yeah, guys, thank you for not enabling my demon. I felt like in the ethers, like, people wanted to help me out, but at the same time, they knew that, you know, you guys sending me money would just end up with me getting really fucked up, and it really wasn't going to help anything. So you guys were right, and thank you. And, you know, thank you, Joy, also for just, again, being such a good example for speech and just speaking your truth and who you are and how you feel about things, and just not caring what people think about it or how many views you get or how, you know, how it looks. Just let it out, you know, just let that which is inside and it needs to come out. You know, it's extremely therapeutic, and especially if you're dealing with somebody who's repressed things for a very long time, like, it's really the only way to get over that repression is to fucking let it out, you know. Otherwise you're gonna have to continue to drown it, or it's gonna boil up into a festering point, and you're either gonna fucking die from cancer or from some type of a rageful act of destruction, or even to yourself or others, you know. I think that's where a lot of these serial killers and just even just violent men in general come from, and just sin itself comes from a lot of repression from how we really feel, you know, and not being listened to, and you know, and listening itself is something I've been thinking about, because, you know, to really listen to somebody, I think you got to be able to kind of detach from judgment. You know, it's good to have discernment, but if you've already got your mindset about somebody and in particular thing that they're going to talk about or want to talk about, or they have to say, or as soon as they say something you've already got your mindset, then, you know, in my opinion, you've already kind of, like, you know, you're not listening to them really. You're just you're hearing the words, but you're not actually trying to feel and sense, you know, where they're coming from and why they are this way and what's really going on here, you know. Because when you do that, you're creating a bridge to that person's heart, you know, in a sense, and then through that bridge there can be a much better loving communication, you know. But if you, right off the jump, somebody's expressing something to you and you just have your own fucking, you know, way of doing things, and you're not flexible at all about it, and I've done this myself, so I'm not saying I'm any exception to this, but it's something I've noticed living with my family. Is like yesterday and the past couple of days, like, I have tried to talk about this drug thing with them and the herbs and me being injured and I don't like pharmacies, and like, conversation will last maybe 2 minutes before my dad or my mom will get super heated, and then they'll just, like, you know, kind of like, you just shut the door on me, like, I'm done talking about this, like. And it's like, whoa, like, okay, like, I'm sorry it's offending you, but, you know, it's there's also, like, y'all realize, like, you are my parents, you know, I don't have anybody else to talk to, and this is a very serious thing in my life, and, you know, you guys are just telling me to fucking leave and just deal with it, you know. And it's like, I get it, you don't want to enable the bad behavior, but I think there's a more constructive way to go about dealing with these things, other than just, you know, giving your son or whoever just the fucking, you know, the door, you know, just telling them, there's the door, get the fuck out of here. It's kind of how it was, you know. I mean, I'm saying it a bit coldly, but, you know, when people have when they've already got their minds made up on things, especially things that are really personal and powerful to you, and you feel like you're not even able to relate to them, and they're looking at you like you're this fucking kind of like a horrible, like, person who doesn't have, like, their shit together, you know. And which I'm not saying I mean, you're right in a lot of ways, I don't, you know, but, you know, part of the reason why I don't have my shit together is because I don't feel like people even want to hear about my shit, you know, or I'm not even able to relate to many others about, you know, the things that irritate my shit, like, you know, living in this society and, you know, paying, you know, just energy to this system that I think is cannibalistic in nature, and how other people, it doesn't seem to bother them, and it's like, you guys don't see what's going on in the world, and we all continue doing this, like, nothing's gonna change. And so that shit does bother me. And a lot of people in my household, I mean, everybody in my household really doesn't care to talk about it at all, very much, really at all. So that in itself, I find it hard for me to relate and communicate my heart energies to their heart energies, you know. And then I'll use coping mechanisms like herbs and shit, and I'll let them do their thing, and I'll take my thing, and there'll be a peace because they're not bridging that conflict, and I'm you know, coping myself with herbs, so I'm not feeling as like I need to express myself as much, even though this is how I'm really feeling. You know, I've quelled that feeling now with the calming effects of herbs, you know, and so it's kept me from speaking my truth, and it's kept me from dealing with my responsibilities, and it's also perpetuated a cyclical, self-destructive, you know, like I said, slow suicide, which is what, if you're really destroying yourself to like a serious degree every single day, it's a slow suicide in my opinion. That's just how it feels, and it does kill you slowly but surely. And I've watched friends fucking die because of this shit, so that's just how I feel. So anyways, I'm kind of rambling a little bit, guys. I'll probably make another video because there's a lot I want to get off my heart and chest, and just it's really good to speak. So thank you again, Joy, for just being a good example for people just speaking their truths and expressing what the hell is really going on inside themselves and how they feel about the world. And, you know, again, just being a good example for not suppressing your emotions, letting them out, express them. You know, and to do so is healthy. Like, it is. When you keep that shit bottled in, like, once something fucking happens that, you know, and that you can snap, you know, you can snap, and then it can become that much easier to, you know, hurt yourself or others, you know. But if you had just taken the time to maybe talk about these things, like, you'd be surprised how that moment of speech will lead you in a completely different direction in your life and in others' lives too. So, you know, it's good to take the time to talk things out. Don't just rush it, you know. Learn by my example, you guys. Don't fucking speak. Don't hold your tongue. If you feel like there's something you need to say, say it. You know, don't worry about what people think about you. Now, in my opinion, it's good not to offend people, but everybody's a little different, you know. So you gotta do you. All right, I love you guys. Have a good day. Bye.